Good day, everyone. We have a special guest that will be hanging out with us today, and she is going to talk about her latest book series entitled Anne of Green Gables. Ladies and gents, Miss Hiraya Sanches. Thanks a lot, Barbs, and greetings to everyone who's watching right now. Since Barbs already said my name, I am now going to talk about Anne of Green Gables. Just from the title itself, I'm assuming it's a good book. Don't you agree? Anyways, what's the first volume about? So the series is set the late 19th century up to the early 20th century. Speaking of which, the first book happens in the late 19th century and is about the life and adventures of Anne Shirley, an 11-year-old orphan girl who is mistakenly sent to siblings Matthew and Merrill Cuthbert, who are both intending to adopt a boy to be able to help them on their farm at Green Gables, which is located at the make-believe town of Avonlea in Prince Edward Island in Canada. Oh, now you're making me want to ready my passport. Well, I've only found about the island when I was reading through a magazine. I was kidding. Please tell me more about the book. As I've said, Matthew and Merle are siblings in their 50s and 60s who have originally decided to adopt a boy from Nova Scotia in New London, which is slightly far away from the Gables. But due to a misunderstanding from the asylum, they have sent Anne instead, which made the siblings disappointed. But since Matthew was a kinder person, he got along with Anne quicker than his sister, who was still not accepting the fact that the orphanage sent her to them. So Merle thought of sending Anne back to the orphanage, which made the little girl cry. After seeing this, Merle thought of dismissing her idea and chose to keep Anne instead since she and Matthew were already close to each other. I truly say that it was a good thing that Merle had chosen to keep Anne for Matthew's sake. Well, as soon as Anne had first stayed at the Gables, Merle had felt more tense and anxious because she now had to worry about both her and her brother and Anne. As time goes by, Anne's imagination often leads her to hijinks, which also makes her realize that she should not always be eccentric when it comes to dealing with such things. On behalf of that, Anne's behavior makes her have a variety of friends. Diana Barry, her first real bosom friend, enjoyed spending her time with Anne, even though she has a little sense of imagination. Her classmate/rival, Gilbert Blythe, whom Anne used to hate because he made fun of Anne's red hair when she was young, also became her friend after all the mishaps she had. She had also made friends with other people, like Jane Andrews, a calm girl, Ruby Gillis, who was suffering from tuberculosis at that time but seemed to have forgotten her good yet hysterical nature. There were also the unpleasant Pye sisters, Gertie and Josie. So, what were some of her mishaps in life? Well, there are a lot if I tell. There was a time when she was 13, and since she had always wished that her hair was jet black, she and her friends saw a German Jew on the streets who seemed to have been selling various things. To Anne's delight, she saw a black bottle that the man had said that it was a serum to change someone's hair black. Because Anne trusts people quickly, she immediately bought the bottle and tried it on her red hair. Instead of her hair becoming jet black as she had expected, it went to an awful shade of green. This made her feel very ashamed of herself, and as soon as Marilla had seen her hair, she had no choice but to cut it short until her hair was only up to her head. Poor Anne! But did Anne learn something from those mishaps? Yeah, an incident made her realize that we should not always focus on how we look like, but rather focus more on how we act. The other incidents has also made her a better and normal person. Since the first book tells a lot about her childhood and teen days, how did she live as a young adult? She goes to Queen's Academy in order to earn a teaching license along with her friends, excluding Diana since her parents did not allow her to go with them. She gains her license in only 1 year instead of their usual 2, and wins the Avery Scholarship along with Gilbert. This scholarship allowed her to pursue a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree at Redmond College. Moments later, tragedy strikes at Green Gables after Matthew dies from a heart attack because of knowing the fact that he and Marilla's money had lost from a bank failure. Instead of using the scholarship, Anne gives it up because Marilla's eyesight had already been failing. She applies a teaching job at the Carmody School, which was the closest school there was. Knowing Anne's decision, Gilbert gives up his job at Avonlea and works at the White Sands School instead because he knew that Anne wanted to be much close to Marilla after Matthew's death. After this, Anne and Gilbert's friendship had been strengthened, and Anne now looking forward to what life would have in store for her. Now, would you like to say anything to the audience and those watching through their tellies right now? To those of you willing to read this book, then I surely recommend you to do so. Book is meant for all ages, whether you're a kid or a middle-aged person. If you have problems about committing mistakes or being overly vain, then this is the book for you. Well, guess I need a copy of the book now. I do have problems about being vain. I mean, I just bought these clothes yesterday. Sure thing, Barbs. I'll give you a copy of the book, if the publisher allows me to. Anything else you want to add? Also, the book is now available at selected bookstores, so better start searching if you want them. Your humor never seems to end, doesn't it? Actually, I've drained 75% of my sense of humor when I was creating Anne. Well, and that's it for now, folks. I hope you enjoy my sensible talk about Anne of Green Gables, and some of you already got copies of the book, and you can come see me outside because I will be doing a signing. Well, thanks a lot, Ray. This is Barbara Avicenna speaking, and I'm really hoping that she gives me a free copy of the book because I'm getting really thrifty right now.